Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. It is the 9th. So remember that whole coronavirus thing that like half of the country just made their entire decision about the election on? Well, it doesn't matter anymore because Pfizer has shown that they have a vaccine which is 90% effective and the markets are going absolutely nuts. No, you don't get a do-over. You don't. I'm sorry. Well, let me show you the charts, man, because it's just like, look at this. Everything is just gap. Man. So, I mean, does it even matter to go into it? I think that here we're going to have to think a little bit more. Wow, that's an all-time high? Yep. All-time high. You got to be kidding me. Wait, why do I have a strategy on there? I have a strategy on this chart? What? Oh, no, wait. What? I'm confused. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. Oh, I know what it is. We got to turn off. I have it on this one. Do not plan. Okay. It was one of my robots took it. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So that's an all-time high. What about the treasuries? Okay. So the treasuries almost all the way back to their lows from the election. Wow. Okay. So here's ES, all-time highs. Previous all-time high was like almost, oh my gosh. Well, let's call that 90. So almost 60 points back is the all-time. We're going to gap up to a new high of 60 points. What? It's just crazy. Here's oil going up to the top of its range, gold going down to the bottom of its range, copper actually not moving all that much. So here's the thing in copper. Remember that there has been some dispute between China and Australia. Nobody is sure why China is doing this. It's kind of out of the blue. But they've been like banning the import of things. But then they like turn around and they're like, oh, we're not banning the import of anything. Anyways, the whole thing is just a little bit nuts. I thought that we were going to come in here and like, okay, we got to be more serious. Well, I am still going to be more serious. So, I've been taking a lot of YOLO trades and everything lately because it was like the liquidity and the volatility and everything was just a little bit too much. And now that we're, a week after the election, I'm looking to be a little bit more serious and, get myself back into the mode of a single lot trading, and then we get this. So praise be to Joe Biden. He has crushed the virus. Well, I mean, they're going to take credit, aren't they? I don't know. It's kind of funny because here in Utah, the governor sent out, he used the emergency broadcast system to announce a press conference where he instituted a statewide mask mandate because in Utah, we are close to maxing out the hospitals. So in Utah, it's all like, crazy. Yeah. Oh man, like the virus is really bad. And then you come over here and the market's like, we're saved. A lima bean could have called a vaccine immediately after a Biden win. Well, it sure would have been useful to have known this a week ago, wouldn't it? Sheesh. So now the conspiracy theory is going to be that they held back information on a virus vaccine just so that they could, move up after Joe Biden won. Hey, I bet you that they wanted to do it Thursday, but, there was that whole contested election thing, and they kind of, this weekend, the media decided to finally call it, so now you can put it out. Gold crashed. Yeah. So I was following this, so I was on TikTok, and there was this creator on TikTok that probably one of the more popular creators over there, and she is new to trading, right? And she had puts on Tesla that expired last Friday, and she was showing a picture from like a Robinhood or no, it was Webull. It was like she was short 97 shares. That's like a big YOLO on Tesla puts, and I think that she had lost like $500 or something on it when it went into expiration. But the thing is that she didn't take the puts off after expiration. So as I understand it, that means she's short shares, right? Like I think that the broker is supposed to buy shares back to get you out of the position, but they can't do that while the market is closed, right? So she gets whatever the price Tesla opens up at. 97 shares. Yeah, but she needs money to be short. But that's what I'm saying is like if you go long or short and over the weekend, and you get executed. But then the question is like on puts, your puts should just expire worthless, right? Like you don't have to sell if you don't choose to, right? That was what confused me. So why would the broker choose to execute it? So are they screwed with whatever price Tesla opens up at today, or is it just a temporary glitch in their system that doesn't show correctly? Because I'm sitting here like, okay. NASDAQ up 10%, like, okay. Because if you're really short 97 shares and you eat that whole gap, that's the end of your account right there. So I'm interested to see where Tesla opens up at. Okay, so the phase 3 of this vaccine is expected to be done by the end of November. Okay, now as for us over here in the futures, what do we do? Can you buy that? Oh man, this is a hard one, right? Here's the thing. I don't think I've ever seen a gap like that. I don't think I've ever seen. To be at an all-time high again already is really crazy. A vaccine is good and all, but for us trying to trade with order flow and everything else like that, it's kind of a difficult situation because you don't have anything to compare against now. What the heck is Scott Adams going on about here? What would happen if by coincidence you were born again and became woke at the same time? Would they cancel each other out, or is one an accelerant to the other? This is a confusing... What? Okay. Let's see here. Germany talking about trying to find common ground with the U.S. and reach an agreement. Oh, you don't need to reach an agreement. Biden's just going to roll over on the aircraft subsidies. That one could actually be a really, because, okay, so we got to talk about this now. I'm not going to trade this right now. I'm a little... I don't know. It's the E-mini right now is a little too illiquid. I'm looking at the treasuries and I'm like, well, can the treasuries really stay down like this? I don't know. So let's just Do you sound sick? No, I'm okay. I think I'm okay. Anyways, yeah. I'm going to wait for a really, well, actually, I am getting a really clear signal. Short. Watch them go through it anyways. Well, I don't want to touch that. It's telling me to short here. I don't know what to say. I'm probably I should take it. Although I would have to take it. I would probably prefer to take it up at like 65 or something like that. Wow, and it's we're getting a lot of price changes. Like the risk for us as a market maker is huge. See volatility go. Yeah. Is the VIX going to rise? That's going to be crazy. Well, the funny thing is that when we opened up, I was reading Zero Hedge and they're all like, oh, SoftBank is back, 10% rise up. And now it's like, maybe somebody knew something. Okay, so what we got to talk about, though, is we got to talk about how a Joe Biden presidency affects the global landscape. And we are already seeing countries start to realign themselves and consider the consequences of a Joe Biden presidency, right? One of the biggest consequences that I've seen is that because the UK doesn't really want to, this whole Good Friday agreement tonight, I don't 100% understand it. But the general consensus seems to be that they think that a Joe Biden presidency is bad for the UK and that it will strengthen the EU's negotiating position. So it's pretty yeah, I don't know. Like the United States' three best friends are Canada, the UK, and Australia. And Australia is getting hit by China right now. Nobody's in the Americas is saying anything about it, but that's what's happening over there. And then you got this with the UK. It seems like our two best friends are having a hard time here. Just me. So that's one consequence. In Canada, you're going to see, there's been a little bit of back and forth with Canada. Now, here's the thing that's interesting is I think that the assumption here that we should make and that the market is going to make, frankly, is that Joe Biden is just going to do whatever the moneyed interests want him to do. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Money interest in the United States are harmed by some of the stuff going on between the US and Canada. And there was some of that back and forth even under an Obama presidency. So a lot of the things that are positive for other countries are not necessarily positive for Canada either, are they? Now, our next set of friends is the EU. It's all saying, oh, we should support our friends. I think that they're talking about Germany. Well, the issue with Germany right now is there's this whole, battle between Airbus and Boeing. Boeing has been hurting. Oh man, that stock has been hurting, right? And they've had their global, what is it? The Global Trade Organization or World Trade Organization, WTO, has made a ruling basically against Boeing. Okay, well, does that mean Joe Biden rolls over and just backs off on whatever it is for Boeing? Well, no, because Boeing is like one of the largest money. That's like the heart of the military industrial complex. So I would think that he would try and stand up for them. So that's kind of interesting that right away he's having his hand forced on an issue against how he would probably like to be able to approach the EU. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's one. But then the next one, then we get into the enemies, right? It seems that the expectation is that he is going to start going soft on Iran again, try and reinstate the agreement that they made with Iran, and Iran is going to be able to put oil out and start selling oil. So you kind of have this is going to be interesting in oil, man. I mean, the demand probably matters more, right? The demand probably matters more, but it's going to be difficult for oil to really take off above 40. Let's say even let's be generous and say 50, because if Iranian oil comes back online, right? Germany feels as friends to the U.S. we owe the U.S. a lot, and this is not forgotten. Furthermore, we depend on NATO. The world is not safe, and some people think. Well, yeah, but the issue has been that the United States hasn't really supported Germany on the things that they wanted to do, and quite frankly, I don't know. The funny thing with when I think about it with Germany, it kind of seems to me like Donald Trump accomplished what he wanted to with the EU, right? Like, he got them all to contribute more money to NATO, and I guess that's done and gone. So I don't know if there's a whole lot there with Germany. Now the big thing is Boeing, right? Okay, Iranian oil. Anyways, so before this jump up, all of the talk was, the effects of Iranian oil supply coming back on in oil. And then there's China. And we had an article out in the Global Times. The Global Times doesn't think that Joe Biden is just going to give China everything that they want. And they're saying that Joe Biden is going to have to try to appear tough on China. But they do want a deal. So I guess they're going to try and negotiate a trade agreement. But then this comes back into the Trans-Pacific Pact, right? Because I would expect that Joe Biden would pursue the Trans-Pacific Pact again, which will be a real ride, because his base hates it. This is like the thing that the really liberal Democrat base hates the Trans-Pacific Pact. They were really against it when it was being investigated or negotiated under Obama. The Donald Trump base really, really hates the Trans-Pacific Pact, but the moneyed interests really like it. And so I would expect that they would go forward with it. And then, you see what happens. So see, that short, it had money in it, but oh man, it didn't run very much at all, did it? It's not just one or two companies? Well, the one that's in focus right now is Boeing, right? That's I don't know about the rest. Okay, yeah, Lobo Trader, climate. Yeah, so climate is going to be a big... I'm sure that the first thing that he's going to do, or not the first thing, but one of the first things that he's going to do is get back into the... what was the agreement? The climate agreement, the Paris Climate Accord. That's right. Yeah, which again is like, okay, expect your power bill to go up, right? So I kind of look at a Joe Biden presidency. It's kind of interesting because, of course, the market is moving up right now, but I see a lot of things that he wants to do that in the long run are going to be very unpopular. Like people aren't going to think too much about the Paris Climate Accords right away. I ain't got to think too much about letting Iran oil back on the market again right away. But 4 years from now, I don't think that the left is going to be too happy with him. Now, from a political perspective, it gets even more interesting because you got 2020. Well, first we've got the runoff races. So in Georgia, there's 2 runoff races, and those happen in January. So at the beginning of the year, there's going to just be this huge battle that will probably be, just as nasty as the election over these 2 Senate seats. Because if the Democrats take both, then they have a majority after the vice president, right? Like that's 50-50, and then the vice president gives them 51. Which would be a big problem and would be very negative for the markets too, by the way, if they did it. And the Democrat base is already gearing up. Like they want Green New Deal like right now. And this is just the issue, is that like a lot of people say that they want to help the environment, but then when it starts coming out of their pocket, you change your mind, right? Are you a full-time trader? No. And I would say that the chances of you being able to make enough money from doing this to be able to do it full-time are very low. Just being honest and upfront with you. You guys want to segue over to that, because I have a couple of thoughts about that. I am looking at my NinjaTrader Continuum MTK, and there's no volatility in price, zero change. It's stuck. I don't know. What, M2K is that other index, huh? Well, the small caps all went crazy, right? Yeah, that's Russell. The small caps went crazy. I wonder they didn't get halted, did they? Because we're up 5% on some of these, so maybe they did. Let's not make it personal, says Halt. So maybe they did get halted. I didn't see anything from my... Oh, you know what? My financial juice, I haven't heard anything from them. No, I got that all set up. I think they just haven't said anything. Okay, so on the thing of like becoming a full-time trader. So, we talk about this a lot before, but I want to present it in this context. Okay. I think a really good example of a successful trader that you can look to is Anthony Crudelli. And Anthony Crudelli came in and he was trading and he failed like 3 or 4 times before he had success. And how he had success was that he couldn't really trade in the pit. It was a pit trader. He couldn't really trade in the pit because there was no way for him to get in. There was like no room. And so he went and started trading on the Globex, on the computer system when that just started. So he was like one of the first electronic traders, and he was one of the first e-mini traders. And that's where he found success. And at one point, he was trading like 10% of the S&P 500 mini contracts. Now that changed because the robots came and took his edge away, essentially. And so what happened was at one point he was making $1 million a year. He cleared $1 million. And then, the robots came in and he lost some of it. So the whole thing here is you got to remember that the when we talk about the big money, like the traders that are really successful in the big money, a lot of us are remembering things that happened in like the early 90s and the 2000s, where these guys were making money from the electronic trading, and that opportunity is gone now, right? The way that you make the big money is being one of the first people into the really big new opportunities. Right now, that money has come from options, actually, right? A lot of people got lucky with options. I'm not so sure that those opportunities are really there anymore, although you can get lucky every once in a while, right? That's where you make the big dollars from trading, and where you can get to where you're making enough money that you can do it full time. Okay. But the idea that you're going to come and you're going to do market making and it's going to be a full-time job. I mean, it can happen, but most of the people that we have around here that are doing it, and we do have people that are doing it, also have other sources of income. Okay. So the recommendation that I would make to you is this. How long would it take you if take the amount of money that you're going to look in to get into the markets with? Let's say that it's just $500, because that's like the minimum that I would recommend trading micros with. Okay. If you lost all of that today, how long would it take you to come up with another $500? And that's how I would look at it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I know that's not like I think some people want to be like, yes, you can do it. Everybody can become a successful trader. Let's become millionaires. And I'm just telling you, it's possible, but what we got to do is just be ready, right? Work hard. You might not necessarily make a ton all of the time, and maybe an opportunity will come in where the skills that we are learning will give us a huge advantage, and we can be the top dog in those new opportunities, right? That's what you want. President Biden gives statement following Pfizer news will be many more months before there is a widespread vaccination in this country. Well, the phase 3 trial ends in November, right? And then they have to get approval. They should be able to distribute it early next year. And Donald Trump says that they've got everything set up for them already, and that the military is involved, and that they should be able to distribute as much of it as they can produce. So, I don't know. All right, well, we got a little bit of a pullback there again, but you getting so in this case, if we take a short and we get, a good run on us, we should take profits right away, right? Okay, so I chipped a nail here. I'm gonna fix my nails.
Lobo Trader says as they can produce. That's the issue. Lucas says good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lucas. Crazy market.
Lucas says is the vaccine obligatory in the U.S.? Vlad Stolyarov says 3,650S was already my target zone for this week.
Oh man, Lucas, you're going to drag me into this conversation? I don't think it is, but do you think that Joe Biden might make it mandatory?
Vlad Stolyarov says I was looking at projections yesterday.
Here's the thing. I don't think it needs to be.
Mahdi El Mesaudi says don't tell me you missed the big move today.
Well, I wasn't up at 4:30, no. And I'm not so sure that I would be long into that move either.
Vlad Stolyarov says lol.
No, like the thing is that you need the vaccine
Lucas
for
says they want to make it mandatory in Argentina. They also bought the Russian vaccine.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the reasoning behind a mandatory vaccine. I really don't.
Sunday Driver says Biden said it was a lie that a vaccine would be finished this year.
Well, it won't be ready for distribution this year. They had a window where they could have gotten it out before the end of the election, and it didn't happen.
Uzi Knesset says the only way the vaccine would be mandatory in the U.S. is if every state mandates it. Biden can't mandate it himself.
Yeah, well, he could try. This is the thing I'm wondering about that sort of a thing is like, is there going to be a situation where Biden tries to make some sort of an executive order that is beyond his reach and the Supreme Court smacks it down? But here's the thing is that if Biden comes in and says vaccine is mandatory, how long would it take for it to get to the Supreme Court and get smacked down, right? By that point, it would be like too late. But making it mandatory just doesn't make sense to me. The virus is really only dangerous to a certain vulnerable population. And if that vulnerable population gets a vaccine, then we're good, right? I don't think that you have to force everybody to have it. And that's going to be the argument probably, is that why do they want everybody to have it? Not everybody needs to have it. What else is it that they gain by forcing everybody to have it? But I don't believe in all these conspiracy theories.
For the vulnerable population, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Vlad Stolyarov says, yeah, I don't need it that much.
But you know, there's a conspiracy theories that it's there to control you and affect your genetic material. I was reading people were saying, oh, it affects your genetic. Like, no, we don't have that technology yet. If we have the technology to modify your genes, then like, please, I have a couple of genes that I would like to fix. But I think that if there's anything to any of that conspiracy theory type stuff, it's that they
Weave
make a
says,
lot
I'm
of money
looking
from
into
it.
algorithmic trading and ditching discretionary. What do you think of Andrea Unger?
Never heard of that name.
Vlad
Let's
Stolyarov
look him
says
up.
it's all a cover-up operation for Fed to buy every asset.
Maybe I have heard of that name.
Vlad Stolyarov says conspiracy.
Meh. Well, here's the first thing, is that if you're going to be doing a system, you have to write it on your own. Story, she's clearly selling something, but they're not saying what it is that you're buying. I cannot make you rich quick. It's going to show you something. I was reading, I've been reading, who was it that, I don't think they're here today, but somebody recommended a book to me on market making, and it's really, really good. And
Uzi
it's a bunch of
says
math.
everything is a conspiracy just long enough for people to forget it's a thing. Then when it happens and you're like, I told you 5 years ago, they don't remember lol. Vlad Stolyarov says me.
Sunday Driver says every virus modifies things in your body. If your body didn't adjust, then any virus would kill you.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that the vaccine is going to change your genetic material. That you shouldn't take the vaccine because it'll change your genetic material. Come on. Anyways. Yeah, what was they saying? You're distracting me. So let me turn this off for a second. My nose itches like crazy. It's getting cold and dry out here, and my skin's drying out. Okay, anyways. I was reading this book about market making, and it's very academic. And it's showing me crazy math equations, and when I read it, they're presenting it like the math paper would, and so I'm kind of like whoosh some of it. It's good stuff. I think that I'm going to have to read through it a couple of times to understand it. But the thing that they're just going through right now is they're going through different models about the market and how that affects liquidity, and thus how it affects where you should put your best bid and offer, right? What was the name of the book? Let me find it over here. I went and got it, and it's called Trade, Quotes, and Prices, Financial Markets Under the Microscope. So it's a book basically talking about all of the new academic discoveries in the area of market microstructure. Okay. And one of the things that it goes into is they're talking about what is the difference between informed traders and, market making. So that's always been kind of the thing at the beginning, is that the big risk for you as a market maker is trading against an information trader and having it move against you and stop you out, right? And so they were going into, okay, well, it's really easy if you're an inside trader, and you have information that the rest of the market doesn't have, then of course you're an informed trader. But the majority of people don't actually have that. The majority of things that are trading out there are people that think they might not actually even have an edge, but they think they have an edge, and the information that they have is really, really small. And the basic gist that I was getting out of it from this is that they believe that the efficient market hypothesis is, they assume it's true, and they show it in math, that essentially the movement of stocks should be overall random, assuming that you don't have actionable information otherwise. And, it just made me think about this system trading. Is when I look at the sorts of things that the sorts of strategies that we're often trying to make money with from a system trading perspective, don't really make a whole lot of sense, in my opinion. I don't think that you can come down and you can say, well, it seems like stocks kind of tend to move like this, so we should go in and trade this moving average like this, and I should be able to pull an edge on it. It seems to me that people have proven that that doesn't work. It seems to me that they've proven mathematically that that doesn't work. Lucas says that's what Gary Norton says. Yeah, I would expect him to take it from that. But Gary Norton also says that the efficient market hypothesis is false. And I would say that the efficient market hypothesis is false as well. I think the reality is that the market doesn't digest information nearly as quickly as we think it does. And that's where I think one place where you can get edge is you get your news squawk and you have your understanding of the market and you know what's going on. And, you know, in a case like this where a piece of news comes out and it jumps right up, you might not have an edge in that one. Oh, so here was another thing that was interesting in that book was that they were saying they showed research that suggested that when you get a really big move, the degree of the move had more to do with the instrument and how the instrument tends to move than it did what the actual fundamental impact of that news was. So there's an edge right there. Is that the degree of the move? Lucas says that true. I would say that seems to be true to me, but then they proved it with math. I was like, wow, like they showed. There's a study where they went and they looked at how far things were moving, and they showed that it didn't line up with what the fundamentals were most of the time. So there's an edge that you can pull right there, right? Is when you get news and knowing where it actually should go based on the fundamentals rather as opposed to where it goes based off of ranges and stuff. So could that mean in this situation, I don't know enough. How much does a vaccine affect the market here? Like what should the price of the S&P 500 actually be here now? And now we've been up 60. And like, let's go and look at the VIX and everything. Okay. Well, and we'll just kind of, even though we don't have the opening value of the VIX, we can kind of look at where we were probably well beyond. Yeah. So right now we're well beyond where anything that the VIX on Friday was trying to price in. You know, the chances are that even though I'm not so confident in shorting it at the moment, it's going to be hard for them to move up much more. But then what does the actual fundamentals say that it should be? So if the fundamentals also come in and say, well, we're already pretty well priced for a vaccine and above 3,600 really isn't justified, then I think that that's a good short in that situation. But we don't know enough in this situation to really trade it, right? But it was just interesting like that. And the other thing that they were pointing out was that if you do have an informational edge about those kinds of moves, it's going to be super, super tiny, which means that it's probably not going to be suitable for trading on a small account because you're likely to have bad drawdowns. Essentially, they don't say that part. That's just me, but that's where they get to. Yeah, but the efficient market hypothesis isn't true because it takes the market's time to digest news. And there are well-known market inefficiencies that are shown that funds out there are making money off of, right? But what are we doing? We're trying to make money off of a technical pattern, essentially. And I'm just kind of saying the way that we approach it, the way that most retail traders approach it, is like, okay, here's the kind of the movement that I see. Let me put an indicator up there. Let me see what it tends to do and then try and build a trading strategy around that. I think that when we actually look at the larger framework and what's going on and what we know about market making, that's kind of silly. if we're going to catch an edge of a technical nature, it's going to have to be really obscure. Because, if it's just something with a moving average, the market's going to catch that. It's got to be more complicated than that. Now, more complicated than that can actually be quite interesting, because like Ace's strategy works pretty okay. I've backtested it and I've gotten it to the point where it works pretty good and it comes out profitable after multiple years. Okay, it's not perfect though. And he seems to have some edge about how to trade it. That's more than what you can backtest, right? But it's also a trigger that I would have never have thought to program. And without him talking about it, without him explaining it to me, so that's where I'm getting at. Like, that has to be kind of obscure, but that's where it's like, I really think that you're going to want to leverage the computer and the artificial intelligence to help you find them, which means that really what we want to do is we should be getting into neural network type strategies and machine learning kind of things, and getting a much more powerful machine to backtest with. Like, I kept thinking, like someday we do well, let's get a Threadripper. Now I'm thinking, no, like that should be a goal, is we want to get a Threadripper level machine with a ton of memory to backtest with. Let's see where it goes. And let's see, I think the first thing that I need to do though is spend some money on just some more RAM for this machine to confirm that if you put more RAM in the machine, that NinjaTrader really actually uses it. Anyways, I think I got like way beyond where I started to go through. The edges, the edge is picking up on the 2 points. Well, and that's the other thing, is like I said, if you're gonna find an edge, you're gonna be really tiny, right? So in our case, the edge that we're picking up on is something that I do think that other robots and so forth could decide to take advantage of and arbitrage out of the market. And if too many people were doing it, I think that it would affect the edge. But it's so tiny that the market doesn't care about it. It's the opposite of a risk premium strategy. I'm not sure what to call it. But essentially, the thing is that the edge in it and the effort and everything is so small that the majority of market participants don't care. That said, though, when I've lost money trading it, like I've made a ton of money trading it, and then I lost some money trading it, and I actually had the robot going for a while. Actually, let's set that up again. We'll turn him on, and we'll add the ace, because we had ace 3 on there, and I'm gonna have him do it on price change, yeah, and 1 minute charts and everything. Oh, we only need 1 day of load data. That doesn't. Okay. And we'll have a pretty high armed threshold. Okay. Now I don't think that it only takes into account like short-term direction. It seems to me like there are some cases where Ace will flip that rule. Like he's looking a certain direction because of something else. Anyways, we'll see how it trades. I'll put it on here, and just to show you guys, let's make sure that this one has it set up to. It says do not plot. We'll do markers. Well, we'll do text and marker. Okay. So now if either of these take a trade, okay, and it says that both of them are going. Now my other one, the cumulative delta mac D one, is really weird and has a ton of stuff involved in it, and NinjaTrader doesn't seem to like running it because they changed something that makes order flow stuff not work very well with their backtesting. But we'll try it. See what happens. Why did I get on all of that stuff? Oh, because Wu asked about looking into algorithmic trading and ditching discretionary. Okay. So with all of that stuff in mind, how do you work it out? Can I just come in and give you a strategy and say, program it like this, and then you're good, and you know that thing and you're always going to make money? No, it's not. The reality is that you're going to have to learn to program. Which is why here on the channel, I've been making videos about like actually programming. So right now I'm going through like basic technical analysis stuff and showing you examples of them and where they're advantageous and not advantageous, to get you onto not only being able to program simple strategies, but also, more importantly, understand how to analyze those strategies, right? And then we're going to have to start moving into more advanced stuff. You can make a video on order management for NinjaTrader. Are you talking about like the ATM strategy stuff, or are you just talking about how to manually do it? Correlations are useful? I think so too. I mean, correlation arbitrage is a way to go. One way to go. That's the one that probably there's a lot of competition for, though. I found one. I found a strategy that's really, I'm going to show it to you at some point. I'm not going to reveal it today, though. I want to save it for the video. But I found a really simple technical analysis strategy that appears to have some edge over a multi-year time frame. I wouldn't be so confident that it lasts forever. But the issue that I see with this strategy is that when it happens, your chances of actually getting in on it are like, there's no way you're going to catch that. Somebody's going to be faster and beat you to it, probably. Because the market's probably going to be moving pretty fast at that point. Maybe GC will go down to 1850. Well, I have to say, when I look at the chart in GC, we've had a lot of things where it's like there's like a big move in gold, and then it retraces it because it's like, it's just traders trading and that's that. But today in gold, it's gone 1, 2, 3, and now it's going on a fourth leg. So that's a different kind of move in gold for sure. People fundamentally will drive more. Anyways, we're still wondering what we was talking about. Not ATM, coding entry, setting, take profit, and stop limit. Okay, we will. That'll be in the next one, actually. I'll show you. Well, I'll show you now, and I'm going to put it in the next video, and then you tell me if it's what you're talking about. Which strategy should I show you? I think I might have it in these moving averages. No. Let's do it. Let's do it in the bands one, like the Bollinger Strat. Will be a good example. Okay, so let me show you something here. Let me get really big text. Can you see that text now? Okay, so here in the state.configure, there's a method called set stop loss and set profit target. You don't have to call them in state.configure, but you just remember that when you touch these things, there's a little bit of a cost to it. So if it's your stop and target are going to be static, you should do it here so that it only happens once. Okay. I'm doing it by ticks, and I have a stop and a target. So see here, I have it, there's a stop, and then the target is actually the stop times a multiplier, right? So I come in and I say, here's how much risk I'm willing to take on, and then here's the reward ratio that I'm looking for. So, you know, like maybe you want to catch 1.5 or 2 to 1 profit loss, whatever it is, right? And then down at the bottom, you just have to have properties for them, right? There's a stop and a target. The target is a double. That's it. That's all you need for your target and loss. Now you can go to calculation mode.price. If you have a specific price that you think it's going to go to, then you can put that there. And then you can do that inside of all of this other stuff, right? But it's really that simple. Now there was one, where was it? So you could do something like, okay, if we have made our, say that I want 2 to 1, let's say that I'm just doing this with numbers. My stop is 4 ticks and my target is 8 ticks. Then I could come in and I could say if, let's see here. If position dot, I think it's, is it dot account? Let's see here. Which one was it? No, I think it was this one. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one. Do use break even. Here it is right here. Okay, so it comes in and it says if we are long and the close of this bar is above what our average price is, plus, you know, some size, so basically like equal to our risk, then I move my stop somewhere. Move my stop up to what my average price was, basically, essentially. And I have a little extra argument in here to say maybe it's your average price -1 or +1 or whatever, so that I could test different things out. By the way, this bit of code, when I did it, it showed some edge. There was some edge in saying that if it's gone a certain amount for you, that you should move your stop up. Not if you use a trailing stop, I've found that doesn't work very well. But like moving it up to break even seems to improve the strategy's stats. Trying to set up your news calendar? No, I don't use investing.com. Though I know it's super popular. I really like the Forex Factory calendar. I don't know. Do we have a whole lot this week? Let's go look. Oh, no, not really. At least not today and tomorrow. Jolt's job openings tomorrow. Wednesday is a bank holiday? Oh, it's Veterans Day on Wednesday. Oh, I thought that was always on a weekend. Okay. It's Veterans Day on Wednesday. I don't know. The thing that I really like about this one is that you can come in and it will tell you what it is. Okay, so we got CPI data on Thursday. Cool. Do you find that advanced order handling for NinjaTrader is worth doing, or is simple set stop loss and take profit enough? It improved the expectancy of the system. It did. And you notice the way that I have it set up here is like, here's all of my signals, and then I go to have, I split this logic out into a separate method. Here's the break-even one. I think that the bar trail one didn't work. But all I'm doing is adjusting the stop loss based on the most recent market action, in this case, where the market is in comparison to your average price. Now, the disadvantage to this right here is that, you know, and this is a really big thing in testing strategies, like a really, really big thing, is this only gets calculated when the on-bar update gets calculated, right? And in most cases, especially when you're back testing, it's only going to update at the close of a bar. So keep that in mind. And that's like a really big issue, is that you can't, you can back test on something smaller, but the way that you have to do that is you have to have like a lower price series. So if I want to have it where it updates it the instant that it touches that, then, you know, backtesting that is hard. You have to wait until the bar closes. Although in some cases I have found that waiting for the bar to close actually helps anyways. So, okay. If you found edge and you think that you can find edge through creativity or match, because I watched your videos and it looks like you do everything by the book, don't you think that's a negative? So I have found edge through certain time periods, but I do not believe that, well, for instance, today, right now, I am not touching it because I don't feel like I have an edge in this particular situation, right? I think that when I have edge, it's because I understand the market and why it's moving better. Right. And it's in those, like a really great example was when we had that move off of the previous high, because I knew that a lot of it had to do with the gamma and everything else. And so I knew what to look for when it was falling apart and how it was going to move when it fell apart and so forth. And so we were able to do really well with that. We also, you know, back last FOMC meeting, not the one the other day, but like back in October or September or whatever it was, you know, we understood how the market was going to react to that fairly well. We were, even though we were like wrong about certain things, I was, you know, it was enough that with a little bit of luck, I was able to make a decent amount of money. I mean, those were some really big winners in there, right? But you say, like, I do everything by the book. Like, we'll find situations where I don't really have an edge and I keep trying to trade it and I just self-destruct. So we've kind of made some changes to account for that now. That we're just the broker is just going to enforce the daily loss limit on us. And, you know, there are a couple of little small things. Hey, Greg, I haven't seen you in a couple of days. I'm also, there's a lot of little things, you know, like we were saying, I don't know what to call it. It's not what is the antonym of premia? Premia antonym. Premium inferior. My edge is not static. Recently, it is negative edge. There you go. I love that, Craig. Yeah, my edge is not static. There you go. That is to say that I don't have some setup that I'm robotically trading the same way every day. I am watching the market and trying to understand the market, and based on my understanding of the market, identifying edges, and then based on what that edge is, finding a way to execute it efficiently. Are you playing with the slope of the SMA? I've seen some value in that. So I have a video where it is what is the best moving average, and I'll show you in that video how looking at the slope of the moving average is more effective than whether a price is above or below the moving average. I think that that's primarily because you get a faster signal. But you're right. It's not enough on its own to really make you profitable, generally speaking. But like a 10-minute SMA, just the slope of it, yeah, it's pretty okay. Could you improve upon it by adding a couple of other things? Yes, for sure. And then, you got to do the opposite of a risk premium strategy. Okay, premia is the plural of premium. Antonyms for premium: inferior, poor, low, low class. So what is inferior plural? Plural. Is that a thing? Inferiors. So I think that maybe, what did I change something? Yeah, get rid of all that. Don't save that. So I think that if you're doing system trading as a retail trader, that I think that maybe you want to be looking for a risk inferiors strategy, something where the amount of risk that you're taking is really, really small, and the reward that you're taking is really, really small, and it's so small that the market basically ignores it and doesn't think it's worth taking advantage of. Yeah. Where did this new growth to your YouTube channel come from? Do you think? I don't know. You know what? We just do our thing in it, and it works. Are we up to 50 people? Yeah, I mean, you know what? We've been up at 50 people now. That's been happening now for a long time, though. It's kind of weird how it fluctuates, because like on Friday we only had like 30 people, but and we made those one down videos, and that brings a lot of new people to the channel. Usually, while Eric Cages says, my breakdown: Seth reads news, Seth interprets news, places buy or sell order depending on his interpretation of the news, usually contrary bias, and then profit or loss. Yeah, I think that's probably the most top level of it. Yeah. Friday is drinking day. Yeah, I don't know. We had like 30 people on Friday, but today we've got 50. But I think there's going to be a lot of people gonna want to come in and see what the market is doing, and then get it recommended to them. For whatever reason, the YouTube algorithm has decided today to send more people over to our channel. And I don't know, it doesn't tell me what percentage of you guys that are watching right now are subscribers, but it does tell me how many new subscribers we get, though. Well, it says, where is it? It doesn't say new members, but pretty sure that at the end it will tell you how many subscribers you get. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I would recommend subscribing and clicking the bell icon, and then make sure that you have notifications in your settings set up. And that makes it a lot easier to find the channel when we're live, because we're here every morning, and these guys, Lucas, Uzi, Vlad, they're all here every day. And they've been here every day for years now. Which is really crazy to think about, isn't it? Yep, Stick's been around for a long time too. How long has Stick been around for? Are you coming up on a year? Governor Cuomo says it's bad news. Pfizer's COVID vaccine came during the Trump administration. Says he's going to work with other governors to stop distribution before it does damage. What? Stickball says longer than that. Okay. Sometimes I'm like, some people have been around. Oh, you've been around for a long, long time. Yeah. Well, it's 2 years, huh? Yeah. That's the other thing that weirds me out, is to realize that we've been live streaming since late 2017, basically. And I can go back and watch some of those videos because you've had such a large influx of traders now that action back then seems like ancient history to them. Another thing I don't like about news is platform might crash. Well, with Jigsaw, we haven't had too much of a problem. And now that I've figured out that Rhythmic Trader Pro has this plugin mode, yeah, it's great. I really like running. Now that I can run Jigsaw without the Ninja Trader bridge, I'm really happy with my setup. Vlad says I like Rhythmic. I do too. They were saying, I don't know. I was asking Pete about it. I emailed Pete the other day, asking about the Rhythmic setup and just pointing it out to him in case he hadn't realized that you can do that. And I was like, hopefully CQG will come along and they'll do it too. But he said, nah, they're probably not going to do that with the direction that they're going right now, CQG. So. And same with Sierra charts. Apparently he was, I don't know where he didn't really say, but he kind of left me the impression that Sierra charts was kind of preparing to go in a new direction of some sort. Maybe exciting, maybe not. I don't know. Do you like the Jigsaw charts? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that the Jigsaw charts are sufficient. Let's just put it that way. There are a couple of features that I find essential that they don't have yet. My resting orders one died again. How do I keep cannot access the file? It's supposed to just skip over it in that case. Okay, well there's a pretty good down move there on the open. I should probably try to pay attention better. And if we do this over here, I think that we need to do the ones where it's like, okay. Short here, you think? I don't know. I'm going to let them sort it out first because I would think that after a move up like that, probably there's going to be some people stuck into positions from the weekend that they want to get out of. Might be one of your first. On a Monday, you always got to be thinking about that, right? Well, even at the open, you think about people that have been overnight that just want out now. But then there's also going to be all of the gap traders, right? Now, here's the thing. The gap goes all the way back to, it's a pretty big gap. So that's pretty difficult. Eric Gage says that futures IO competition really is paying. It is kind of funny, isn't it? I mean, there's definitely something to having the YouTube channel and having, because people message me all the time. You can always come in Discord and send me a message on Discord. That's the best way to get a hold of me, right? And you get people message me every day and talk to me and show me stuff and ask me about their ideas and stuff. And there's edge to that. There really is. Having like a tab on the community and the way that people are learning and the sorts of things that they're looking at and stuff, there's an edge to that, and it has paid back, yes. Russell is Berserk, I bet. Okay, so there you go right there. That's kind of the revert. Too slow. Too slow, Seth. No fill. Oof. Okay. Nope. Oh man, that was close. Okay, let's just let it play out. It looks like we're kind of like at the mercy of chance right now. It's kind of sad because if we had taken our original entry, I think I would have gotten a profit there. So maybe when I missed it, I should have backed off. So I think I should watch this closely and see if I run into a mine of some sort. Okay. Wow. Pretty wild stuff. So I feel like it's reacting to my area a bit too much. Yeah. Okay. Man. Okay, so those were like 2 test trades. I don't think I'm going to move over to my serious one unless I can catch a winner here, so... Okay, that's a little more like it. Okay. Whoa. That was no. Right there at that open, that's where they Yeah, okay. That was a good one. Okay. Oh, the stop runs are just wild, right? Can I post links in here? I'll let you post links. There you go. Go ahead, stick. Did you know you could check your live chat history? There you go. I should turn this back on. What's this? Oh. Oh, and was that all you posting that? Huh. Really interesting.
Vlad Stolyarov says NQ was algorithmic filled Sunday gap. Stickball says yay. Vlad Stolyarov says bounced.
Okay, well. Wow, Fauci says the vaccine efficiency is extraordinary.
Stickball says, is there a way to see how long you have subscribed to someone for?
I don't know. I don't think that there is.
Stickball says, or can only you see that?
I don't think that I can see that. I can only just see like number of people that subscribed this week or whatever. We're getting like 10 a day. It's starting to get kind of crazy.
Wii U says your 1 minute S chart. Is it really 1 minute? Seems like it's not to me.
This one over here? No, I have like 3 data series overlaid on top of each other actually. So the 1 minute one, you actually can't see. The 1 minute one is hidden. And the chart that you see here is one range. And then this big box right here is a 5 minute.
Air Cages says, would you ever attempt a top step trader combine again?
I might. I think that if I had an automated system that I really, really liked, then maybe I would try doing it on Top Step. Oh, that was pretty bad, Phil.
Vlad Stolyarov says, looks like short.
Yeah. Well, I was
Vlad
looking
Stolyarov
for...
says 3,525 under if don't hold. Vlad Stolyarov says 3625 I mean.
Okay. That's a little bit more like what I was looking for. You keep getting like these liquidity vacuums.
Ace Trades says short 3,625.50.
Not sure I'm a fan of that. Have been getting these to go 8 ticks for me.
Vlad Stolyarov says stop is over 3,655 plus.
Okay.
Air Cages says I'm kind of surprised Top Step Trader is still around without any real competitors.
Oh, there's like
Vlad
6
Stolyarov
competitors.
says UVXY rose a little.
There's like 6 of them out there, Air Cages.
Ace Trades says 2 points.
There's Top Step, and there's Earn to Trade, and there's Lilu, and there's...
Vlad Stolyarov says AAPL doing gap fill.
And then there's a bunch of them that I'm not really familiar
Wii U
with that are
says
like
Top
for
Step is
Forex
shit.
and stuff.
Uzi
They're like
Kinetic
for
says a
Forex,
delicious
yeah.
portfolio up 5% today haha. Vlad Stolyarov says short intact. Air Cages says are they legit though?
Top Step, they're legit. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I have a video about that, of course. But my recommendation is if you are really confident in your system and you know that you're going to pass in a
Vlad
reasonable
Stolyarov
time frame,
says
then
I
do
hate
it.
NQ.
But otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it because the majority of their money is made from people failing combines. And if you do it and you get an account, reduce your risk after you get the account.
Ace Trades says 5 points. Air Cages says I'm sure Top Step Trader is legit, but what about the other ones? Vlad Stolyarov says NQ down 363 points from this Sunday highs. Vlad Stolyarov says probably time for bounce on NQ soon.
No. I think I need a little bit more than that. Yeah. Okay, that's
Vlad
a little
Stolyarov
more
says
like
W
it.
Wayfair minus 15%. Vlad Stolyarov says lots of big moves. Stickball says for some reason I feel like your Discord is bigger than your YouTube lol.
Oh,
Air
probably
Cages
is.
says I remember a few Top Step Trader competitors come and go, but that was a few years ago. Jeff Mormon says they're likely all legit. Selling options to retail traders on their performance is too lucrative to need to cheat people. Vlad Stolyarov says JPM testing 112.
I've heard reports from some people
Vlad
that
Stolyarov
once they
says
got an
JPM
account
heading down.
that they weren't
Gorilla
actually
Digits says
placing
gonna
live
be a
orders,
crazy
but
couple of weeks, folks.
I've never heard any reports of one being just a complete outright scam. Okay, so a little bit of distribution there. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Air Cages says seems like a pretty good hustle. Pay me $300 and if you pass I'll let you trade on a sim account lol.
Right. Yeah.
Vlad
I
Stolyarov
heard.
says did I mention 150 points on NQ as like 5 to 10 minutes thing moves now.
Right. It's a pretty wild range right now.
Uzi Knesset says no better education than getting your own ass burned lol.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are like, oh, it's worth it if you're new because then you get the experience of having to stick to rules and actually having something at stake. But I really don't think it does that. I think that it just it makes people try and chase performance. So I think like we were saying, one of the ways that you can make money as a retail trader is with the risk inferiors strategy. That's what I'm calling it. I don't know if that's like the proper term, but we're going to call it a risk inferiors because that's the opposite of premia. It's a strategy that doesn't make a lot of money, and so the market ignores it. Tesla tried to rally to 44.43, 44.5 would be a nice breakout on daily. Huh. Would those be shorter term strategy? Well, a risk inferiors strategy could probably be any time frame. But I think that a good example would be something where maybe it happens every other day and you only make 8 points on the E-mini for it, but you win like, in the majority of the time. and you have like equal risk reward or something like that. Zero commission futures trading is going to be the real holy grail for retail traders. Well, I tell you what, if there was commissions free futures trading out there and all of these Robinhood guys were getting in on that, then yeah, we would be the popular kids on the block. I hope that happens. I hope that happens. But probably not. Most people aren't interested in trading futures. So they're kind of in the middle actually here. I'm wondering if they're going to try and get back up to buyer's basis or not. But I'm worried that if we get there, that buyers might take profits and scratch it. Yeah, Stick says it's impossible because you'd still be paying central clearing fees. You would have to, something would have to change at the CME to make it happen for sure. But you do kind of have to wonder if at some point the CME decides that, oh, hey, these micros have been working out really, really well. Having more people trading actually makes us more money. And they change something. Because it seems to me that micro index futures has been a smashing success. Oof. That came back real fast. Well, man, if this candle turns blue, that could be amazing. Fish this out here. I think that probably too late though. Probably too late for us. Oh geez, yeah. That is definitely not what you want to see when it comes like right up to your price and it's sticky. Yeah. A lot of strategies would become viable if we scratched commissions. What if we just gave people a rebate if they broke even? Discord having some problems. You can have a broker that lets you trade CFDs free without a central counterparty, but you would have counterparty risk to worry about. Yeah, I'm not a fan of CFDs. Did the COVID vaccine get canceled? No. I think that you're just seeing them. How do I say? There's this mean reversion trade's going to come in pretty strongly here. Like we're up so crazy that, I mean, they're not even below like the pullback off of that news, right? It does seem like we trying buying in our position the wrong way, though. So like I said, doesn't seem like we really have edge in this situation. But I do think that we probably need to go short, so. I'll see, like, that's not what I want to see. Maybe he goes in my direction, but that wasn't it. Missed it.
Vlad Stolyarov says PFE 39.5
Turn
level
that
now.
back on. So because of the way this trading, let's not try and catch a runner. Let's just, from here out, just do equal risk reward. But even with equal risk reward, we haven't been hitting very well today, have we? Neither
Stick Val
long
says
nor
market
short.
makers save heaps on fees though.
Yeah. I know that for me, my problem isn't the commissions.
Ace Trades says not too late to go short here.
Well, I might bail on this, but I do kind of feel like it's a little too late to go short. It's been hugging
Live
that
Action says hitting into
line a
VWAP here,
little
be
bit
careful.
too much.
Vlad Stolyarov says my strategy says no edge, we in range, they just gonna chop me here.
Yeah. So I'm wondering here in the
Air
treasury.
Cages says trend day. Vlad Stolyarov says VWAP reached.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not too sure that I can really say. Doesn't look like how many was that? Oh, that's pretty bad. Well, there was one. I had one that went 16 in my favor. Most of those were buys though, so I guess. Okay, so let's hold up and wait for a sell. Jeez. That's kind of like screaming to me, just go
Vlad
with it.
Stolyarov says MGM sold off. Vlad Stolyarov says casinos selling. Live Action says yes, we're trending both up and down, smiley face. Vlad Stolyarov says RCL up 26%, also wide range and sold off some. Ace Trades says at Vlad Stolyarov, yes, I'm sure you have a bead on what the casinos are doing.
So part of my problem is that I'm actually catching some okay moves on the upside, but they're just not ranging up as much as I would like. I'm really tempted to cancel that though and let it run through, because I think that if they touch me, that they are going to go through. I don't know.
Vlad Stolyarov says JPM bounced. JDL Ruth says, wait, why did you get in?
So I think that the day is bullish, even though that's kind of like a mean reversion trade, and we're kind of pushing the limits of the downside in terms of like deviation on the downside. And I saw some order flow there as kind of like a jump. Then I saw people getting in after me. It looks like that trade was good, but it was only good for 15, not 16.
Discord is so broken.
Yeah, Discord is totally screwed right now. I can't get in either. Look at that. You cancel that.
Air Cages says, what would John Grady do?
I don't know. He might have been short.
Ace Trades says, trade what you see, not what you think.
That
Vlad
doesn't
Stolyarov
make
says
any
NQ has
sense.
better volatility. Some servers I was in Discord are down too. JDL Ruth says, oh, so you are an order flow trader. Nice.
Yeah,
Stick Val says.
I'm always looking at the order flow.
James Rice says not be trading the S. Vlad Stolyarov says I see wide range. Ace Trades says what would Martingale do? Greg Orlovsky says lose money.
I know what he would do right here. Let's buy 07
Vlad Stolyarov
again.
says 60 points up down possible on S.
No, you don't want to feel that? Come on. I'll come back, baby. Come on. What's wrong? I wouldn't use the martingale strategy today.
Vlad Stolyarov says you can get on wrong side. Vlad Stolyarov says I wouldn't use martingale today. Vlad Stolyarov says it will drop 70 points.
No, that was interesting when I was reading
Vlad
this
Stolyarov
academic
says
research.
you will blow up.
There you go. Wait, hold on. There you go. It's funny when reading this academic research. Martingale to them means that the best approximation of future price is current price.
Air Cages says Ace doesn't believe in God but believes in seeing the market. LMAO.
There you go. I don't. The whole thing, trade what you see, not what you think, makes zero sense to me. Why would you think something if it wasn't in line with what you're seeing? Right? Well, here's what I see. I see that there was a vaccine and that they're going to have to retrace some of that move, but that overall the market is incredibly bullish, and that we're trailing down on the bottom side of Bollinger Bands, and that the order flow is starting to turn. That's what I see. He might have shorted it, but he's only going to be out off of like a point, so. He's probably doing better than me overall today, so. Oh, they're getting okay. So first of all, as long as we close this bar above 3612.75, that's going to be a confirmed pivot low on a 5-minute chart. Not that that means anything, but it's something that we watch. And the upside of this is around 3640. So I think I can hold this. I offered it up 5 points. You got it pretty good. You said it is a bull market, but it's, well, yeah, because they're going to try and close the gap. But do you really think they're going to close that gap? Like, there's a thing. There are so many retail traders out there that trade the close the gap strategy. And I think this is one of the situations where they're going to get messed up. You know what I mean? Tesla proved it's a bullish day so far. Well, they didn't open up too high above where that one YouTube creator that I was watching had their Tesla puts from. So I think that they're safe in the end. I don't think that they lost their account, at least. Yeah, Discord sure is messed up. You guys were saying, I think that the Discord is bigger than you. I mean, I think it is, because the Discord existed before the YouTube channel, and it's linked all over the place. I mean, we were really like the first futures-based Discord channel, so you would expect it to be fairly large. I'm not 100% sure if it's like the largest one, but I don't track that, and I don't care. Right? Frankly, you get too big and it kind of becomes a problem, right? YouTube channel, nowhere close to that, though. So, interesting here that the dollar is getting stronger. The dollar is getting stronger. Okay, so that was a pretty aggressive pullback there. Donald Trump Jr., the timing of this is pretty amazing. Nothing nefarious about the timing of all of this, right? This is exactly what I was saying. Come on. You see the market reaction to this? There's no way that you can't at least wonder, right? Can't prove anything, but you have to at least wonder, right? NQ got room. Yeah, I think they are going to come up to the buyer's cost basis. So I'm just gonna badoop. Oh, Russia says their vaccine is 90% effective too, guys. Wait, what? He has 10-point down drop in 30 seconds. Did I see that? Was that 10 points? It was pretty big. 31 to 21. Oh, you're right. It was pretty big. Well, the liquidity is just like not there, isn't it? Oh, wow. Okay. I think I would buy that, but I'm scared. So I'm just going to leave it. Okay, so right there as the bar changed, a couple of people went short. I think that they're gonna push this. Now look at this mess. Like when you look at the level 2, it doesn't look like there's a lack of liquidity, but then you look at how it can move, and there clearly there is, right? Like 2,000 contracts should not be able to move us 2 points. Peloton is trading at levels not seen since September 25th. They doing really well today, huh? Dude, that news from the Russian health ministry has to be like, no, our vaccine is good too, guys. I find that one hilarious. Bears are licking their wounds. Well, you gotta wonder, with such a bullish day, how sustainable that is, right? So you think I can get it? I'm still looking. It's actually 37.50 right now. Maybe I'm biting off too much to chew here. I don't know. Like seeing some rushes of buys come in here around 36.16 area makes me feel okay about this position. So let's just kind of see how it goes here. We could have a really good turn here. Oh yes, the Kremlin, the whole thing about congratulating Biden on his win is kind of funny and silly, I think. Okay. It just every move it's getting ahead of itself. The liquidity is really bad. Just bloop, 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 slips. I don't know, JD. So, JD, like the thing is like what he's trading off of is so completely different, right? I actually watch what he does too, and he's made it multiple times, right? Whereas I tried taking it a bunch of times. Now this winner could potentially wipe all of that out, but I wouldn't necessarily call my trading super amazing. So I wouldn't be down on him. So I know you're new, so I just tell you, Ace is probably one of the best traders here. Just so you know. John, new to your stream, could you describe the items on your screen and what you're looking for to make your decisions? Okay. So let's go through this again. We were talking about it a little bit earlier, but today I'm not really seeing a whole lot of news flows like at the moment, other than the big piece of news that has us up overall on the day. So in this particular case for this trade, I'm looking at like standard deviation types of things. So I do have a Bollinger Band on my chart. I want to be very cautious about anything that you see that is like a technical analysis. The edge that you're going to be able to pull out of it is going to be very small and you might not actually have anything. Okay. But when price is like really far out of whack, I'm always watching. There was kind of a support zone there, and I saw some order flow. So what I'm looking for is like a reaction to a price, whether it's that price is sticky and it doesn't want to go through that price, or that somebody immediately, so like the right there was a good example at 36.14. Like when they got there, somebody immediately started pushing it the other way. Now, I want to see that, and then maybe I'll get in. And what I should see is other people getting in after me, right? So at the moment, are we seeing other people getting in after us if we had gotten in at 14? Not quite. You see, it keeps coming back down there, right? So that's not really what we want to see. But if it had come up here and then when they tried to come down, it didn't really come down at all, and then there was another slip up, then it's like, okay, the market's starting to go our way. At the moment, it is incredibly volatile here in this 14 area. So maybe they're starting to come to some sort of I am starting to see a couple of big orders coming in here too. Man, these charts, one of my indicators has been having problems. I'm not sure how to fix it. It's the resting orders one. It's the old resting orders one. I think I should get rid of the old resting orders one. Who is the boss? No, nobody's the boss. I mean, I guess it's me, but do you still work for that IT? Well, it's not IT maintenance. I do. Oh, sorry. What do we call it? Site reliability engineering. So supposed to be programming, but lately we haven't been doing a lot of that. But yeah, I do. And I intend on continuing to work there. And I might move to a different day job, but I intend on keeping something that I can use for primary income. And keeping the amount of risk that I trade to be really, really small. Oh, it's not that you sit around and wait for things to break. No. Actually, we're quite busy because there's a lot of trying to engineer. So like site reliability engineering is an area in IT where it's still kind of just getting going. So a really good example that would be relevant to us here in stocks is Datadog. So Datadog has some tools that are related to site reliability engineering, and you can see how well that stock has been doing, right? So because it's like a new area and like the solutions to really nail down that problem aren't quite all there yet. And so there's a lot of putting together tools, writing stuff, getting it to work together with the software that you already have in the way that you do things at your company. There's a lot of work to do. What the difficulty right now is that because you're changing so much, there's a lot of, like if we want to use a new monitoring solution, and it costs money, and then you have to get that approved, and sometimes they're reluctant to do that sort of a thing. But we don't just sit around until things break. I was on support, and I was But I had plenty of things to do while I was on support, actually. We take turns doing support. Okay, so that's a pretty good up bar right now. I don't know. Okay, so we were talking about my strategy, and I left out a significant part. Okay, so what I do is I have a model that looks at where orders are going in at, and it tries to estimate where people's average positions are. So the way that this works, and I have you can download this indicator at speculatorseth.com. There's like a 14-day trial, and then after the 14-day trial, it's $10 a month. You just have to have the subscription to the YouTube channel. So you click the join button down below and join for $10 a month, and then you get access to this thing. But basically what it's saying is that the average seller has been short around this orange line, and the average buyer has been long around this blue line. And then this line and this line are like theoretical break-even levels for both of those guys. So you can see here that even though we had a downturn, that we weren't anywhere even close to the break-even / stop out zone. Okay, so the trade, in addition to it, giving a bunch of order flow signals and everything to me that we were going to turn around, I'm looking for it to come up to here. Right? That's why I haven't taken profits on it yet. Oh, you lost your dad in a car accident. Oh, man. Anyways, so you can check that out at speculatorseth.com. I spent a little bit of time writing some documentation. It's not quite ready to look at, but you can. It works. You can go and get it. I actually remember on Friday we were going to make a video about it. So I went and I recorded a video, and it was okay. But then I started watching it and I was like, no, this is like I need something way better for this. So that's when I was like, maybe let's just put all of the boring stuff in documentation and then come up with a different idea for a video to, highlight it on the channel. That and the eye thing, it's still, I don't think you can really see it now. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if you can really see it on my eye, but when I was watching that video, it bothered me. So I was like, nah, we'll do it again next week. Disney is up 12%. Wow. Oh, Ace. No. I didn't laugh about that. Come on. Well, a new benchmark is coming on March 29th to the ICE exchange. Watch to see why we're excited for the arrival of Merban crude futures. Okay. Merban crude is a thing? The market here. Shitty liquidity won't improve as we start the year-end narrative. Really? Because I would really like to see the liquidity improve. That's really bad.
Block sell.
It's really bad right now. Look at them treasuries. Somebody just puked in the 10-year. Reshuffling big books will soon be impossible as all moves will be exaggerated on even small volatility events, not to mention today's PX action. Watch the end of day market on close even closer. Ah, good point. I think we can all agree that Seth is like a long lost cousin that never comes to visit because he's too busy streaming on the internet. What? Ukrainian President Zelensky tests positive for coronavirus. Oh dear. Genius. I never read that. I need to read that. So an article on Zero Hedge. Biden headed for confrontation with Congress as Dems move to push through Green New Deal. Sure. Okay. Man. The Bears fighting this one hard. Should I hold on or bail? The problem is that I could have bailed and gotten back in many times. They did come a little short there. You know, I'm noticing here, if we get to a point where, like, say we get above 36.30, then those shorts are going to be, like, in real trouble. AZ's going to keep trading until you love. I know that Ace loves me. We do too. It's just we just haven't been able to get together for a while because of the Rona. But now there's a vaccine. A couple months from now, his wife will get the vaccine, and then we're barbecuing. We'll barbecue. We'll record it for you guys. We'll have a nice little chat, and we'll record it for you guys. I don't want the Rona. I'm honestly, I'm still like, when am I going to catch it? Like, I don't want it, but I've kind of assumed that I was going to catch it at some point, you know? I don't know. Kind of assumed I was going to catch it. And then I would have immunity and maybe there would be opportunities because you're immune. But now there's a vaccine. I guess the opportunity is passed. Man, it's just like every tiny little thing is like eight ticks. Like if a large order shows up at all, it's 8 ticks. Okay. Where are the treasuries now? Oh, they're below. They are below. There's last Tuesday's low. Wait, even in, no, not on ZB. ZB, they're like 1 tick off from it. I don't know, guys. I'm watching this and I'm kind of wondering how far can the E-mini go up before the interest rate becomes a problem, you know? Live action says, yeah, see how last words keeps getting hidden? Wait, what? Is your model of average seller and average buyer backtest? That's a good question, Woo. So it is too expensive to backtest it. So there's an issue with NinjaTrader backtesting right now where if you have anything that relies on tick replay, it comes to a crashing halt. I don't know if it's like I need more memory or what the deal is, but I just can't backtest anything on there. Now, that said, I don't necessarily have a clear strategy for it. I'm using that as like a location to potentially enter and exit trades with, but I'm not using it as a trigger. And the triggers are often news-based, so it's kind of hard to backtest that in that fashion as well. But there are things that I would like to do, like testing trades using that as a filter so that you only take the trade when you're above or below the certain line or whatever it is. I think that would make a very, very effective filter. But unfortunately, I don't have a way to really do it right now. Rob says I prefer Sierra. Well, no. I mean, Sierra doesn't have tick replay. Because to get those lines to draw historically, you need tick replay. Understand, it's based off of volume at price. It's using the volume profile. It's using a candlestick. Sorry, it's using a footprint chart, essentially. It's kind of a way of reading a footprint chart. So you have to have tick replay. Or not tick replay, you have to have, they call it tick replay, that's right. Basically, you have to go through on tick by tick bars and have the best bid, best ask at that time, and use that to determine whether an order was a buy or a sell in order to run this. I don't think Sierra Chart can do that. Okay, so the seller's pushing it their way just a tad. And now, am I seeing buyers push back or profit taking? Actually, I am a little bit. Like, there was a buyer right there at 36.1775 that just took a lot of contracts. Surprised that didn't cause a slip. Well, now he's gotten filled. Maybe it will. No, they're gonna try and push him. Okay. Yeah, the liquidity is still just really awful. Sierra doesn't have the bid ask for replay, yeah. Sierra has replay as if the market is low. Yeah, well, yeah, you can do that. That might maybe work. Anyways, another thing is you'll see it like kind of go to the overnight positions. So I do kind of want to see it like, of course, to go to the overnight positions, we'd have to get to like 35.70, which I don't think is happening, but we'll see. Crazier things have happened. Oh, JD. Not funny. I have zero tolerance for people trolling. Okay, so it's a pretty okay bar there. See if we come up there. I don't know. My model is a really interesting thing because you just got to remember that it's telling you something about the market, but it's not trying to predict the future or anything, right? That's just like the current condition. So like you will often see like hard bounces off of those lines and things like that. But like when it's going to do it is kind of hard to predict unless there's like a piece of news that gives you a really good idea of it, right? Like if some sort of another piece of really positive news came out, I can tell you that we would likely stop up to 36.40. If there's evidence, that's one thing, but young it up and cast just to blow past certification dates so you can argue state legislators make their choices, another thing. Oh, that whole thing is just, oh my gosh. Yeah, so some people saying that the state legislators should choose how those electoral votes go. I don't think it's going to go that way. You know, if it hadn't been for this vaccine and everything, maybe we would be doing that analysis. Because the question I have is, what is the margin of victory in those states? And what are the particular claims of fraud that exist? And if those claims were actually, found in court and those votes discounted, would it actually put Donald Trump out over top? I think that people have made some assumptions about how it's going to go that might not be true. I believe personally, first of all, Donald Trump should take every legal maneuver that he can to try and prove fraud in court, and he should fight it. That's the way that the game is played, is you fight as hard as you can. So they should do everything that they can to try and win. But in the end, I think the chances of them actually doing it are really, really low. But don't tell that to anybody on the Donald.win, because they don't want to hear it. No, but that's his, it's a Hail Mary. You're right. It's a Hail Mary. I'm more interested in what happens next. You realize that if Donald Trump is no longer president, that the most important political leader on the right is Mitch McConnell, right? How is that going to go? And how much are they going to actually deal with the Democrats? And are they actually going to have the majority in the Senate or not? If they don't have the majority in the Senate, then it becomes really okay. That's right. And he owes the voters. Yeah, he should. He should take it every step he can. Anyways, and then what does Donald Trump do? Does he decide to try and run again in 2024? Because I think that it would just be, it would be the same thing. He has too much of an unfavorable opinion of him out there. The media threw every little trick at him, and they call him Teflon Don. But I think the reality is that he fell for media traps and it hurt him in the end. And the next Republican should pay attention to that, because they're going to try and pull the same tricks on him. It's going to be like, if a Republican is in power, Democrats are going to make everything chaos everywhere. And then if they're not in power, everything is all hunky dory. Now that they have a formula that works, or that they think has worked, they're going to overplay it every time, right? So does Donald Trump really try and run in 2024? Because he might still do that. I don't know. Or does he go and start a news network? That's more interesting to me, if Donald Trump starts a news network. I think he should do it. Go through with all the legal challenges, and then after that's done in January, launch a news network. Well, sellers not given in here, guys. So I think that I'm going to have to take some profits here. We'll let them go again and see what they do, but the selling is pretty insistent. I guess it's okay that we got our own thing, but I really should have taken it off earlier. I didn't really see anything super clear that could have held me in it. Ugh. Like the one that gets me is when we turned back down at 36.30 or so. Yeah, it was 36.30. Because it just came back so fast, Okay, well, let's see if they kind of, slow down here or not. It's still the liquidity is so bad. I'm kind of wondering. Okay. So they went for the low there, but they didn't slip through. Oh. Oh, he was like, no, I want it. I'm gonna get it. Okay. That was kind of like, well, let's just wait a little bit. The days of the Romney McCain like gentleman candidate is gone for the GOP. I don't know. I don't think that you have to be as rude as Donald Trump was to win, if that's what you're saying. But you do have to fight. There sure does seem to be like some people in the GOP that just don't want to fight. Like they don't really actually want to win. What's this from the Marketeer? This stick is posting. Oh yeah, that was the same thing that I was just reading that one a little earlier. Did you miss that? No, it's an interesting thought that they're saying that they don't think that the liquidity is going to get to improve going into the end of the year, and that you're going to likely see a lot of crazy moves because of that. Okay, that one was okay. It's about equal at the moment. Nope. You can see, though, how the sellers are having a really hard time getting it to go their way here. There's not a lot of contracts left to stop out, according to my model. They got 35.99, so there might be another push down left in them, but doesn't have to be a rude guy, but to be charismatic that appeals to workers, lunch pails, not briefcases. Yes, that's it. Totally, RJ. The Republican Party needs to realize that it is no longer the party of the rich. The rich elites all live on the coasts and are Democrats. Well, I don't know about that one. Seems positive. Yeah, that's kind of more the kind of, I want to see like a rush up above me. I find it odd that at 16 ticks that it seems like I'm having a hard time getting filled still. See, it's stuff like that. It's like 16 is like one too far. There we go. So the Lincoln Project guys are out of it. Their days are gone. Cover and rest is too fast. Yeah, I mean, I took them. I switched back to my experimental account. I only took like one or two on. Well, let's let me change this here. Oh, actually, I took quite a bit more on that one than I thought, but it was still 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I hit my limit, and then I switched. 5 under my limit, but. But they're both sim accounts, right? I think that the end result of what we're seeing today is that Seth's probably not taking this live until next year. Because if it's moving like this, there's no way. There's no way. Well, I kind of like the way that it's turning back up again, and this would be a good place to try and reverse it, but where's a good spot? I don't know if that was a good pick. Okay, well, that's not too bad. That one, though, looked like the liquidity above me just pulling, though. Gorilla Digit says late January, early February. Yeah. I mean, I would expect at some point for us to move into a high liquidity, low volatility regime. And that should be more favorable to the way that we trade. It's funny that we've always been like in for the volatility, and it's been too much. But then when we got that model works better when it's range bound. So I don't know. Let's see here. So what were you guys saying? If Republicans lose the Senate in January, Republicans are toast. I totally disagree. Biden fighting with Mitch and compromise legislation better for Dems that fight Biden with AOC and progressive legislation going through. I don't know. The issue is still, well, it's really hard to know where it's going to go at this point. Because did you guys see all of this stuff where AOC had like a real tirade on Twitter? Like she was really pushing back on the notion that the radical Democrats cost the Democrats seats, and she was straight up saying that like she didn't want to run for office anymore. Like she was saying that she was thinking about quitting, which is like, what? You're gonna rage quit? I was surprising things to hear coming from her. So I wonder, this whole thing about nuking the filibuster and going head on with the progressive agenda and everything else like that, I'm kind of wondering if the Democrats really have the heart to do it now. Like, I'm thinking that in the Senate, even if it was a 51, that you would get at least 2 Democrats that are relatively moderate cross the aisle and prevent the filibuster from getting nuked. It's just a guess. It's total speculation, but that kind of seems where it's going towards right now. So yeah, but on the other hand, the problem is that with their radical environmental agenda, that's not just like playing to the crowd. You know, like I think sometimes we talk about things where we're like, oh, they're not actually getting forgiving all of the student loans. I really don't think that they're going to do that. Could the president try an executive order on that matter? I think that that would get challenged. So, but the environmental stuff, they think that their lives depend on it, you know. So, I think we should expect to see energy prices go up. Oh yeah, the whole asking for the Trump. It's way worse than that. They want to have a database where it's like, if you had a friend that supported Trump, then their name will go in the database. Watch. I don't think it's going to work, because what people are going to do is they're just going to start submitting everybody's name to it. But I've seen some where they're saying, okay, here's a list of all of Donald Trump's donors. Now Antifa is going to go to their houses and harass them. That's not going to play well. Yeah, I didn't get a good pick on that last one. No, why did I have that like that anyways? Okay. There's another step lower. So here is where we should expect to see some stop runs, yeah? That's it? I think you got a little more in you. Okay. So normally when you get one of these, yeah, okay. Yeah, I should have clicked. I should have sold earlier. It's, you know what? Let's just not touch it for a second. Usually that'll keep going down here, but then after a while, then maybe it'll reverse. So let's just kind of let them do their thing. There'd be a lot of BS to get people riled up. It always happens around presidential election times. Yeah, although this time has been really crazy, right? I saw this guy, he had a really great example. He was like, you know how Joe Biden is telling everybody that now is the time to be peaceful and loving and everything. Let me explain this to you. See, the faucet is on because Joe Biden turned the faucet on. And now all he has to do is turn the faucet off. And I was like, that's exactly what happened. Okay, so they are doing it here. Oh, shit. Come on. I'm gonna work in this with this one, okay? Okay. That was a little fast. So they went through the stop out zone, and then did you see the absorption down in here? Oh, now you're talking about, I don't recall an election where people weren't saying the president may refuse to leave office. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know. I don't ever recall that being a thing, to be honest. I can't recall that ever being a thing. I can recall them talking about them making it difficult and being, you know, like the whole thing where when Clinton left office, they took the W's off of all of the keyboards, you know, those sorts of things. But I don't remember them saying that he would outright refuse. But I don't think that Donald Trump is going to outright refuse. I think that whole narrative is nonsense. I think that he's going to fight really hard, and that when the vote gets certified on December 14th, that will be the end of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think. I remember when they said Bush would use the 9/11 situation to say, oh yeah, I do remember that. It's the things that they said about George Bush were really quite absurd. But here's the problem, is that these tactics are nothing new. I mean, they did this with Ronald Reagan too. I think Ronald Reagan was really where they kind of like codified all of this stuff, right? And you know, it's always been a thing, but what has happened is that social media has amplified it. So I think you have a problem if you are a media manipulating Democrat, in that the public is now wise to your scheme. Even if people voted for Joe Biden, they know what's going on, you know, and I don't think that all of these people are just going to go back into hibernation and stop paying attention to politics. When they have laws and stuff that are going to increase the costs of energy, and when their bills go up and everything else like that, they're not going to go along with it again. I don't think. And you're going to have to come up with another big scary. You know what I mean? Like, let's say Ted Cruz runs. They're going to have to do things to make Ted Cruz seem even more scary than Donald Trump. Maybe going with he's going to turn this into a theocracy. That's usually the next one that they would go to, right? But I don't think it's going to work as well. I think that too many people have seen this. Or like, if Black Lives Matters just kind of disappears and stops being a thing, and then 4 years from now, all of a sudden it shows up again, everybody at that point, everybody's going to be like, okay, yeah, this like the third or fourth time now, we're not falling for this again. You can only do it a pattern can only repeat so many times before everybody figures it out and tries to jump on it. Just like in trading, it's like the third time that something happens, all of a sudden it's like everybody's trying to do it. And then that's when it stops working. But I also think there's going to be a lot of buyer's remorse here. Like, did you see this thing over the weekend, CNN saying that Joe Biden was asking Dick Cheney for foreign policy advice? Like, freaking Dick Cheney. I can't think of anybody on the right that the left is more afraid of, and you're asking Dick Cheney for help. Yeah, it's going to be like Carter. His administration is going to be a lot like Carter, probably, where somebody is going to, in the respect that he's probably going to have a serious challenge from the left. So yeah. But until then, the issue that you got, I was going to talk about this earlier, but here's the bigger issue that you got. You've got the whole thing in January, the runoff race in Georgia as to whether who controls the Senate. Okay, but then 2022 is not a favorable map for Republicans. There's something like 10 competitive seats for Republicans that they have to defend, whereas the Democrats only have to defend 2. So if they don't pick it up now, there's a really good chance that Democrats take it in 2022. Wow, that was so fast. Okay, well, I'm just going to move my stop there. Even though it looks like really likely to touch, but because they're moving up here, I'm just going to... Because that's break even for me. Yeah, okay. Yep. The market on close today is going to be really interesting. For sure. I don't know. I keep looking back on this and I'm like, are there spots where it could have gone short that would have worked out? But I don't really see the clear ones. Of course, I could have tried some of these momentum trades, because if I'm only looking for 8 ticks, I would have gotten them. Actually, if I had only looked for 8 ticks, that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I would have done pretty well. The issue that I seem to be having is that the volatility, you would think that the volatility would make it easier for me to get 16, but it's not. Now look at that. They jump right up right after I do that. That's funny. Well, you could probably try and work it in here again. And Come on. You know you want to. You know you want to. No? Watch them just bury me. Me watch them just bury me. Come on. Come on. There you go. Okay. Sorry, I kind of got all quiet there as I was working that out. What were we talking about? Biden presidency. We should change the title here of this stream, shall we? Market gaps off vaccine news. Oh, that's interesting. That liquidity they got left behind at 0575. Okay, is getting some large orders coming in here. Pinging it around. Where are they coming in at? Well, some of them are actually a decent ways away. Go ahead. Make my day. Trump 2 market focus? That might be true. There was definitely some situations where I feel like he was so concerned about what the market was going to think that he wasn't doing the right thing. He was always hyper-focused on the markets, for sure. Yeah, there was 3,600. That was kind of a weird bounce, that last one, by the way. That kind of prompted us to start taking this. We really should have just like moved our. That should have. If I was gonna like add risk on, it should have been that initial one. Now it just looks terrible. Oops. I'm gonna let them fall again. So they seem prone to doing it, right? Yeah. Well, that last stop run was so extreme. Oh. Wait, what? So I think that on some of those, I think my orders are screwed up. Because shouldn't be. Okay, I don't know. See, it shouldn't be placing those so close. Let's see here. Tesla's going for its lows. Whew. No. Oh, GC is at 1850? Jeez. Well, the treasuries are turned back there a little bit. Like I said, it kind of makes you wonder how sustainable this is. Like, I think today is going to be an up day, but after that, it's kind of like the valuations are really questionable. You go into the year end, do they just want to lock the gains in or something? How does that work? I've never seen it's always been rally during the holidays, you know? That looks good. That looks really, really good, actually. Let's move some of this to here. I can't tell if it's a buy or sell the news day. Well, I think that this is kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of a situation. Yeah. It's just like, it's kind of hard to short it too, you know? Okay, I need to take a break here, so we're just going to let this run and see what happens. All right, I'll be right back. So far, about 32 point down channel. The whole thing is, this whole movement today is just kind of cray-cray, don't you think? So it looks to me like sellers are pretty insistent, right? But they're going to have a really hard time getting a whole lot of volume to sell below 3,600. So I don't know. I think I could take 5 contracts from there again. 35, 63 is a fib retracement. 63. Oh, I don't know, man. All I'm saying is that they would need new people to come in and start selling to push us down below 35.90, right? Like, that's why it's chopping back and forth here so much, because the sellers are clearly in control, but they don't have enough people to stop out. Doesn't mean they can't do it. I should be really careful about what I say about that, right? Doesn't mean they can't do it. Well. And EU is talking tariffs. That could be a reason to sell. Some clicks coming in here again. And they go right, almost right to him. And he pulled it. There was a big order there, 98.25, and he pulled. Closing above 35.88. Wow. Cool. That was one of the better calls I've made today. We're inside an order lock right now. I've never heard that phrase before, Gorilla Digits. Block. Order block. You notice, though, we had like the big orders, and then after he pulled in, we've turned around, and now it hasn't. They've disappeared. You say 35.70? Well, 35.70 is probably too far forward for me to think about. I mean, I'm not saying that 35.70 is not like a realistic target, because there's definitely an area that they're going to want to retrace back to based off of the overnight move and everything. It's just, where are they going to get the volume to do it right now? Either way, I want to reduce my size here a little bit. So interestingly enough, that 3603 and a quarter is basically becoming resistance. It's probably, I think that they're going to need to, well, who knows? Maybe they've picked up a good, who knows how many longs they've actually picked up here. Look at that. The thing is that the longs just don't have a whole lot to give up right now. Wow, that flipped so quickly. You see that? And then he comes, well, that's interesting. When that happens, I wonder what my processor looks like. I'm going to come over here and pull that up. Because it really moves faster than I can even see it. Okay, here's the big orders coming out again. Offers. Something smells. It's not me. I don't know what it could be. It smells like you like a whoopee cushion. It's not strong. It might just all be in my head. And my nose is a little stuffed, isn't it? Well, is Discord back yet? It is. Hey, look at that. Well, we're just going to let this go still. So there's some people do think that it's a range and are fading it here. Well, overall, it shows that there's more longs, that the market makers have more inventory long, but but because you're going into the stop out zone and you can't see how many people stopped out, that's not reliable. And this is a situation where being able to see the market by order information would be really useful. Crowd always buys into lunch for no reason without technical. Yeah. I mean, I'd really like to see 10. 10 is about where I think we should be going, but let's see. So do they close above these pivots here first? So they're just having a hard time. Oh dear. A Russian helicopter is down and burning. Brannigan Barrett, 138% return in FANG since March lows, looking today like a shooting star. The best play is to sell out of tech and rotate into value. Watch this index closely for sentiment in the days ahead. I'm sure the market here will like this one. Oh yeah, it is a great one. And I think that the play is correct. If indeed we are to see a rotation here, which isn't for sure. Man, he really doesn't want it to close above that. Somebody really doesn't want it to close above 3602. If it does, if they close above 3602.50, that's super positive. Some volume there. Ben Carson tests positive for COVID-19. No, not Ben. Not the good doctor. Oh, if he dies, that'll be sad. Oh man, that'll be the two most prominent black serving members of Donald Trump's administration dies from coronavirus. Like, ugh. You'll never hear the end of that one. Oof. Looks like the bear's kind of prevailing there a little bit. This wasn't too long of an excursion. They might have another one in them. Yet. No, there's definitely some pivoting going on here. So again, let's call it 3603. Basically, if they can get above 3603 before the end of the hour, it'll probably trigger a lot of buying, but back to VWAP. Give you $1 trillion. You'll just, if I give you $1 trillion, you'll just lose $1 trillion. 3650 is realistic also. Well, maybe for the later in the day, but when I'm looking at levels, I'm trying to utilize the amount of actual outstanding positions theoretically to calculate it. So like on the upside, there's 3640 is like definitely a target, but for them to get up there and above that, that would be like a full day reversal. Yeah, you're not trying to take it ticks though. Well, what do you go for, Gorilla? Because I'm not necessarily, I would like 10 points is usually good for me. I should have, there was a few that I took that were more than 10 points, and I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so here they are. They got about 45 seconds left. You watch. Watch here in 30 seconds really closely at the DOM and see how many orders come in on that new bar. Okay, so see, he's really insistent that it not hold that. Oh, it's gonna be so close. They're fighting over it. Ooh, buyer gives it a good little boost there. 10 seconds, 5 seconds. 2, 1. Yeah, I see now they're all bailing. So there was definitely a significant number of there was a significant number of technical traders. You made 4,500. You were the one that was selling it into me, Lewis. It's okay. There were some orders, and I got this long, and it's going well. Think they can get past this little 3608? Oh my gosh, the baby found the keyboard again. He's got this little keyboard that's like a DJ station, and it makes noise. It's loud. You can't hear it on the stream, so it's fine, but he gets big, and he knows how to use, there's like a volume knob on it, and he knows how to use the volume knob. Well, of course, yours were live. This is today's action, because when I was started out, and I mean, I took some shorts too, but order flow was not being reliable for me at all. And you know, I kind of suspected it would be as such. I don't know why I always trade through it. I really should have just said like, nah, let's just sit and watch this, or let's try a swing trade, you know, because it was, the liquidity is just pulling on you. And when you get that, the risk on you for a market maker is just too much. Now it's technical traders. Well, I kind of feel like it was always technical traders from the beginning. Don't you think that a lot of that selling was probably people trying to play the gap fill? But you know that they're not going to fill that. There's no way they fill that gap today. Maybe, but it's too risky. Yeah. It's just like the degree of gap. How do you try and play that? It's just... I definitely smell something weird in here. Oh, well, it's 9:30 now. I guess I should probably quit. What do you say? Well, I tell you what, since we're ending the stream, let's take one off here. And then I'll let that one run all day and see what happens to it for fun. But, well, at least if we get to 3640, then I'll take it off. Maybe there's a dirty... I don't know. It just smells weird. It's not like a strong smell. It's like just enough that I'm like not 100% sure if I'm smelling anything. But yeah, the liquidity, I'm just so surprised that the liquidity is, I don't know. It shouldn't be surprised when you see a gap to see a liquidity disappear, but what is it going to take to make it come back? And they're saying it's not going to be there until the next year. Well, whatever. And anyways, I think that the trading overall was pretty bad, but that last 2 or 3 trades were pretty good, and because I doubled down into them. There was one though where I got 97 ticks in it, and I didn't take a profit on that. I only got 16 of that. So that was pretty bomb. And then before that, it was pretty nasty. Those were mostly buys, though. I really need to, in a situation like that, I need to try the other direction sooner. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like shouldn't expect to do well when the liquidity is like this. But what is it that we can do to sit down and say, okay, yeah, today the liquidity is bad and we intentionally didn't trade it because of that. We need to make some sort of like, way of committing to it that's what we did, while still being able to have the entertainment value of trading with a sim order. Okay. Oh, we could have tried trading the 10-year, I guess. Would I have gone short on the 10-year though? The 10-year being down here makes me really, I don't know how it makes me feel. Anyways, I'm just blabbing now. Hey guys, I will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.